There we go. Live, mate. Thanks for joining me, pal.
Absolute pleasure. Been waiting for this. Been waiting for you.
Get on the other side of the camera and chat some shit.
Yeah, that's it. Put me out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. You seem to adapt to it pretty seamlessly from what I've seen. You were good with you're on with Jay Comp Base show not long back. You were good on there, and
it was a good experience. I think when you're talking about stuff it's quite easy, and it just rolls off the tongue.
To be fair, mate, anything I talk about just rolls off tongue. That's one of my problems. I think I know everything. So
yeah, it definitely is.
Cheers, pal.
I've learned that over the past 6 months.
Yeah, we've been in quite close proximities with each other for a bit, haven't we, mate? Getting to know each other.
We are through thick and thin.
Yeah, and that's what we're on here to do today. So obviously we've been around. We've done the first season of the affiliate series. I keep saying first season because I'm keen to get back out.
There's more out there.
There is, and we need to figure it out. I think in its current form. So for anyone that's watching that doesn't know, so we as the Defiant Co went around 6 affiliates up and down the UK just to try and tell their story a little bit. It was born out of there was a lot of, at the time we started it, there was a lot of negative stigma around CrossFit, weren't there, as a brand. And when we talk about CrossFit in that way, we talk about CrossFit HQ maybe, and lack of direction, lack of support, and all that kind of stuff. And it bothers me because I know a lot of affiliate owners, and I feel like the only people it generally impacts when bad stories get told are the people on the lower level, like the gym owners that need people through the doors. If CrossFit's currently in the press for negative reasons, and if someone's picks up on that, are they going to go and join a local CrossFit gym, even though it's quite far removed from HQ, as we've seen from some of the comments that some of the guys have had as we've been around. So coupled with the fact we're passionate about fitness, we wanted to do something a little bit different. We've got a good relationship with Joey, who we had worked with us. We wanted to do something, and that something happened to be this affiliate series. So we went around 6 gyms. We went to, I'll go from the top. So we went to Method Training first, then we went to Project, CrossFit SPT, CrossFit Gainsborough, CrossFit Comet, and Fosse Way CrossFit. So a lot of those, there's like, if you look at some of those gyms, they're not as well known as some of the others, are they? Like I'd never heard of CrossFit SPT until we started talking about doing this, and we'll come on to them in a little bit. But yeah, so it was good. And then obviously I was led by you a little, when I said like, right, this is the idea. Have you got an idea how you want to do it? And I think it was your idea to do it in this sort of docu-series kind of way, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We bounced a few ideas and then adapted as we went along.
Yeah, and it was good fun. It was great to get out there, and like I love doing that anyway. And it's always like you always come away, don't you, when you visit gyms, like whatever capacity you go in the CrossFit space. I'm talking because that's what most of my experience. You always come away feeling better than when you went in. And did you get that vibe, even though you were sort of behind the camera as well when you go in when we did this?
Yeah, I think obviously I had a bit of a different perspective to you, but I was able to sort of take myself out of the chaos, and I was observing a lot more than you was. And yeah, I think they all had very similar sort of energies. Everyone was very like welcoming and polite and just getting involved. And there's such like a variety of people, and I think that's like amazing to see. You've got like the masters like getting stuck in with the like younger lot, and it's just unreal. Like, and like you say, like Method, such a huge space, like really modern facility, and then you've got some other gyms that are like at the start of their journey, still expanding and progressing, but they're all sort of got that same buzz about them. It don't matter which gym you go in, like you say, you feel mint after, and you've made friends and had some good conversations.
And how does it compare for you, mate? Because I know like a lot of the content you put out is generally at comps, isn't it? Because that's where people normally want a media team so they can get that footage for marketing and such like. How did you think it compared from that feeling you get from a community point? Was it a different one to what you experienced behind the camera at comps, or was it just, I'll let you speak rather than put words in your mouth?
No, again, like it's nice to see like such a big group of different people coming together. Like, like I say, you've got like your masters and they're all just getting stuck in, and they're all rooting for each other. They're all helping, and there's so many different abilities. Like you've got like your people who have just walked in the door, doing scaled stuff, but they're in the same team as like an athlete who's competing individually. And they're like they're both getting the same workout, both getting stuck in. Yeah, it was just as good as shooting a comp, to be honest. Like you still got that same buzz, everyone's just working hard. It felt like you was at a comp at most of them, to be fair. It's on a weekend and everyone's just like getting after it. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it did. Some of them, especially the way some of the gyms sort of geared the workouts up, they did it in that way for that reason, I think, as well, which made it good fun. So what we're going to do, we're going to go through each gym that we visited, and we're going to give a highlight and a low light. The low light's a little bit more fun because obviously we're not going to. The point was to big the gyms up and give them some good content and promo. So I'm not going to like tear any down. And to be fair, I don't think I could if I wanted to. Like there was nothing like about them. They're all different. They're all unique, but there was nothing glaringly terrible or obviously bad about any of them at all. Like I've lost you, mate. Your sound's gone. I don't know if that's just me. Is that just me? We've got one person watching. If that one person watching could comment and say, "Can you hear me?" or "Can you hear Joey?" that'd be really, really helpful. He's technical. This guy, I know. If you're back, I can hear you. Come on, mate. This is your fucking job, isn't it?
If you could hear me, then
I could. I can.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Right, sweet. It was like the microphone was on my phone. It popped up.
It was Lizzie. Lizzie, we're watching. Cheers for that, Lizzie. He's back. He is back. So she's on. So we're doing CrossFit Comet with fourth. In fact, that was our fifth trip, Comet, wasn't it? Or was it his fourth? No, it was fourth.
Fourth.
Yeah. So
that completely threw me off.
We know we've got Lizzie until we've reviewed CrossFit Comet then. So we've got one viewer for next at least 10 minutes or so. Right, mate. So I'm going to start with obviously method. That was the first one. What was your highlight from method training?
I got 3.
Whoa.
Can I say 3 or just 1?
Go for it, mate. Keep them. Let's do it. Right. Let's have them all.
The first one that come into my head was they've got a great career incentive. Obviously, they went into depth about that in the chat after. He took a step back and he was looking at how the coaches can progress. And instead of because it's such like a busy place, Newcastle, people are coming in and out, they're like, no one was staying. So, yeah, that was one. Like, he's got really good career incentives. He really thought out, stages. If you did like 100 hours, you got this, 300 hours.
Yeah.
And then allowing coaches to come to him with business ideas, within the space. Things like that was really cool. The space itself, it was unreal. The cafe at the front was mega, huge space. And then you had like the bit that was looking over the CrossFit floor. Really big, like, chill out space. That was cool. And then the last one, just before we came on, I watched all the teaser videos to just like refresh my memory. And the last one was the puppy Vizsla that was in the cafe the whole time.
Yeah, it was a cute dog.
That was probably at the top.
Yeah. So my highlight for I don't know if it's like a single highlight, but it was sort of like just believe the hype. You know what I mean? That place has got a good reputation within the UK. Almost 85% of the members signed up for the Open. And I don't know. That was kind of just, if I was going to like just highlight it in one way, it'd just be like, yeah, everything you imagine that place to be, it is, and more.
Yeah.
Like, and like you touched on there, Jamie, the way he's got the clear progression and paths for the coaches, it's just brilliant, because like you're giving people careers, and in giving them careers, you're there by making them better coaches. They want to coach more, they can coach more, they can still get on the market, the housing market, like you talked about, and things like that. And that was reflected in the culture there. And one of my favorite things about it, I know we've talked about it before, was when I parked the van out the front to unload it, and then he came and told me to shift it. And I love that. I love that, because he was like, if I let you park there, someone else will park there next day, and then next day. And I love that. And he says that that's just how he does stuff. Anytime something's either remotely out of place, or someone's doing something that's not in, not the way they want it to be done, they just address it in the moment, and it just stops any bad habits creeping in. I love that. So yeah, like pretty similar to your mate, but like mine's more all encompassing of like, yeah, just believe the hype. That place was next level.
Yeah.
What was your low light?
Again, like, I was struggling. The only thing that sort of stood out was how long the conversation was at the end. With it being the first one, and there was just so much to cover. I think it was like 40-something minutes long, wasn't it? And we had to cut that right down.
It was, and that was like mostly my fault, because when I got talking to Jamie, I didn't want him to stop talking. So I just kept asking more and more questions, and every time he came out with something, I had another question for him. So yeah, that was, I remember when you sat down to edit it, you messaged me like, what the fuck am I going to do here? Because
this.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Because like you want me and us to get the content we wanted from it. So, but when there's that much of it, but my low light was, I guess, similar in so much as when I recorded the podcast, we had obviously Gareth from CrossFit UK, Elle who came up with me, and then Jamie. We recorded a podcast, and I didn't turn mic on properly, so we got no fucking sound. So.
Yeah, we had to. God, my camera was rolling.
Yeah, so even though you saved the day, like for about 3 hours, I was absolutely devastated, because it was literally. If anyone's watching this as well, go back and watch that podcast. You'll be able to find it. It was brilliant, because it was just 3 good minds from within the CrossFit space and me, chatting all things CrossFit. So that, yeah, the thought of that being lost forever. But Joey saved the day. So yeah, so that's method then. So good low lights there. They'll probably still have us back. We haven't done it bad there.
Yeah, of course.
Right, now we've got project. So I have to be careful not to be too biased here. So what was your highlight of project, mate?
Again, I've got quite a few, to be fair, that stuck out.
They'll be happy.
First one that stuck in my head, because I do CrossFit myself and I love good equipment, was the amount of Rogue that had been invested in the gym. That was nice to see. He really took pride in his equipment, everything. Well, there was just like 10 of everything, and there was just no stone uncovered. So that was cool. The attendance leaderboard, the little tags on the wall, thought that was a cool idea. Like, not seeing that anywhere else. I think that's a good incentive for like members to keep going. And I think the further you get along, the more competitive it gets. They had a cool kids area. I think the attention to detail in there, because everyone takes the kids to gyms, and sometimes you see them sat on a sandbag in a corner, on their iPad and stuff. But at theirs, they had like a proper little kids area where they could chill out and then get entertained. And then the girls come in. I think that was nice.
Oh, mate, you're ruining my low light.
How was that yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, the girls coming. I thought that was a nice touch. Yeah, brightened up the episode.
Yeah, thanks, mate. No, I'm not good enough for it. But yeah, so I love that you mentioned that about the attendance thing. So for context, so at Project they have a big board, and it's got at the top 10 different achievements that you can reach, from 100 classes all the way up to 1,000. And you have a little project triangle, because they have I am the project is one of the logos they have. So the project triangle has always been something that they've talked about. And your name's on this little triangle, and each time you hit a milestone, you move it along on the. And it's just the thought of progress as well, because you're physically moving the thing. It's quite a nice little endorphin hit when you get to move it. So yeah, that's cool. For me, when I talk about projects, like, it's impossible for me to talk about it without acknowledging what it's given me personally.
Mm-hmm.
So like, my highlight of the project is the fact that it's, I don't know, you know, like, before I joined the project, I wasn't like, I don't feel like I had discipline. I don't feel like I worked hard. I don't feel like I had much direction. Don't get me wrong, I went on the street shooting up, but I was like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I was just, I'd like to say, just existing in life. You know what I mean? Just getting by, thinking that was all right because everyone around did that anyway. And it just taught me the value of hard work. It taught me consistency over time and what great things that can bring. And then also, like, you know, wanting to work hard, being around good people. You know, like, we in like 6 months had stopped smoking. You know, because it's just you're just around good. I don't want to say better people because it sounds harsh, but you're around better people when you're in a CrossFit gym.
Yeah, of course. It's effective, isn't it? Do you know, it rubs off on you.
Yeah, and then like from that, obviously launched the Defiant Co, and then all the members have always supported the brand, buy all the stuff, you know, that Elle and Fletch, the owners, they've always supported me in that journey. Then, you know, it's enabled me to support them as well. And I just, it's just that my highlight is just like, every time I think about project I'm able to appreciate. And it's also that, mate, you know what? Before, like, I started CrossFit and got into it with those guys, I probably wouldn't even been sat here and acknowledging how much it had done for me. You know what I mean? Because it starts to make you appreciate others somehow, because the more you become better yourself, the more you're able to look around at people and appreciate what they've done for you, I think. So, yeah. I think that, and then you stole my low light by making it highlight. Tori and Millie muscling in and getting some attention on the camera, mate, outside of me. That for me, that wasn't, that was a low light. What about you? What was a low light project for you?
I thought you'd have done the same low light as me, but it was when you buried yourself on that rower.
Oh, man, yeah.
You was in the dark place.
Well, you even said, didn't you, when I set off on a rower, you were like, oh.
You're not holding that, no way.
Yeah, but to me, mate, that's just working out, because I'm so shit anyway. That's not a low light. That's just part of it.
Yeah, I love it though.
But yeah, that was harsh. That was brutal. Right, mate. I did. I held on. I don't think I was too happy after when he saw leaderboard, but it was my birthday weekend. He had to go with me. He could have done better with someone else, but here we are. So from project, in between a stint at Defiant Games, which you produced some more immaculate content for, we went up to CrossFit SPT. Now, this was our furthest trip. Well, we went together, didn't we? I picked you up from services. But one thing to call out before we even go into this with CrossFit SPT is, like, I didn't know that gym until we basically put some feelers out. Where should we put something on our story? Where should we go? And we had quite a few messages. So then we sent a form out to people and said, right, vote for your gym, and we'll come to the ones that get the most votes. And CrossFit SPT got 300 different people filled this form in. And I was just blown away by that. And then I looked on map and it was fucking 3.5 hours away. And I was like, well, I don't care, I'm going. Like, this community is insane. Like, I couldn't believe it. You know, everyone had got the mums, cats, dogs, and everyone to vote. And it would just, that really jumped out at me. So I was excited. And then when I got chatting to Reese, the guy that runs it, he was just like a quality guy. And then we went up there and fucking hell, I know our highlights are going to be the same on this one. I'll let you go first, mate.
Yeah. First thing that stood out to me was obviously the amazing atmosphere and just how, like, welcoming and friendly, like, the members were and the staff. Like, it was an unreal reception, wasn't it?
It were, mate, yeah. And that's exactly mine as well. Like, I know we talk about community in CrossFit regularly, and this isn't to say that everywhere we went, the communities were insane. But that place, when you went in, it just smacked you in the face. We said it on way back. It was like, you just felt it. It was like nothing I'd ever experienced. It was crackers. What's Jake saying? Sausages. Right. You know, before we go on with these highlights and lowlights, since Jake's here, Jake, I've got a question for you. And I don't know if it's one you'll be able to answer as quickly, but one of the overarching themes of this series has been the owners of CrossFit affiliates saying that they don't get support from CrossFit UK. Now, Jamie at Method didn't say that, and Elliot didn't say it. They built very successful gyms utilizing the resources available to them. And that made me think two things, right? One is Elliot's very independent in how he does stuff, so he'll just get on with it and do it. And I'm not saying the others aren't, but I know Elliot personally. Jamie has got arguably one of the most successful gyms in the UK, so constantly has CrossFit UK maybe visiting him or talking to the gym, doing stuff with the gym. Now, the others that we're talking about all said that they don't hear from CrossFit UK. Now, even if we're saying CrossFit UK provide all the necessary resources, all the necessary information, and it is there, the fact that 4 of the people we visited said that they didn't feel supported by CrossFit UK, do we think that that's a problem, even if the resource is there? Because if everyone's saying the same thing, just to say, well, it's all there if they need it, is obviously not the right answer. So I don't know what your thoughts on that are, Joey, as well, because it's a difficult one to answer, isn't it? But like, if everybody's saying the same thing, then somebody needs to listen to it, don't they? Whatever that thing is.
Yeah, I agree. I think, all right, my dog's, that's good timing, doggy. Go back to bed. Yeah, it was quite surprising, like how many people were saying the same thing. Like they're not feeling support. And I think because CrossFit's become such a big thing, it's like they've forgotten what matters. The people who are in the, keeping these gyms going and paying the affiliation and all these things. They're just getting a bit left out, I think.
Yeah. He's saying, I don't actually know what it is owners want. I've been asking for specifics for a while now, and all I ever hear is communication. But I guess sometimes that is it, isn't it? And sometimes like communication is one of those things of like, if people don't feel like you're communicating with them, just saying we're communicating doesn't help, does it? The underlying issue is that we don't have Greg anymore. We don't have someone we as owners look up to and belong to communicating for us. We do it for our members, but who does it for us? Yeah. I mean, it's a hard one because I like the model. I think they give you the freedom to go on and do it how you see fit, which is great from a business point of view, but they are still paying the bills of CrossFit.
Yeah.
CrossFit without the affiliates is nothing in terms of not only the sport that, it drives people to eventually, but like the bread and butter, like CrossFit just can't exist without affiliates. And that's not in a sort of sentimental community aspect. It's in a purely financial aspect because all their revenue will come from affiliates.
It's not cheap for what you're getting either, is it? No. Like paying for your level 1, 2, 3 and all these sort of things, it adds up.
Yeah, and we'll come on to it in a little bit, but you've got people that want to get involved more. Miles mentioned it from Fosse Way. Yeah. He's got his CrossFit level 3, he wants the next step. Like, people are out there that want to, and a lot of them would do it for, just to be a part of something, not necessarily wanting crazy wages to go and do it. If you put local people in to maybe specific areas and just pay the expenses, I'm sure they'd go around the gyms for you and do a bit for you. They wouldn't necessarily want a salary.
Yeah,
I don't know. But what we got here, we all belong. We need a figurehead. Who is that for CrossFit affiliates? Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think, especially as well.
Yeah.
I think as well, Jake, on that, mate. If you look at it, I feel like in the US, I feel like they do have figureheads in the same. Maybe it's not exactly the same, but Greg's still there on Savon's channel, who most of the people in the US will subscribe to and watch, whether they like it or not, or whether they moan about him or not, they watch him. So I feel like there is that there. Dave does his stuff and he's always dropping in at affiliates in the US. But what is there in the UK? I know Gareth does what he can, but he's one man. Like, is there that? Do we need a figurehead in the UK to really get behind and do? I don't know, bridge that gap.
Yeah.
It's why we have the clear divide of pre and post Greg groups. Do you think we do in the UK though? Do you think the UK is as aware of all that stuff and all those situations? I don't know. I don't often hear it. You know, because I've been out and about at gyms for the last probably 3 years, I never really hear anyone talking about that kind of stuff with substance anyway. I don't know. It's an interesting one. I'd love to get Gareth's take on it, but normally, you know, and see what he really thinks. Like, is there something that they wish they could do and they can't, or do they just not know what that something is?
That's true. Yeah, conversation needs to be had, I think. Yeah.
Right, well, we've sidetracked that nicely, but let's get back to SPT. So we're both saying the community was our highlight. What was your low light, mate, up at SPT, apart from how far away it were?
Yeah, there was that.
Don't say driving in car with me and all.
No. It was the finding it.
Yeah.
That's all I could pick at it.
That's exactly what I've got, mate. I've got that it's tucked away. And not that... And you know what? I guess it doesn't really matter because when you know where it is, you know where it is. But what I think, I know it's like a strange thing to say, but because of how amazing that place were, I wanted to walk, you know, now I know it deserves a big neon sign out front of it or something, you know what I mean? It should, you should be able to see it for miles around. But
another thing that I remembered as well was it was unusual, but they were co-sharing that building, weren't they, with another gym? Was it a High Rocks affiliated, was it?
Yeah, it was a bit of, I think it was like a bit of everything, wasn't it? And they had a big High Rocks class on when we got there, didn't they?
Yeah, because that was confusing when we rocked up. It was like, oh, here's the gym, here's the floor, like, and then we walked through the back. It was like, oh, right, that's a completely separate business. Yeah,
it were. I feel like Reece said that he sort of not rents a room as such, but something along those lines from that place. And what's good about that as well, though, is just shows, doesn't it, that, you know, they've obviously do functional fitness, that other gym, and they do and obviously SPT do CrossFit, and they can coexist together literally in the same building. Yeah. And it just shows that if you support each other and drive enough people to the amazing sport of fitness, then it can benefit everyone. It doesn't have to be like, oh, you're opening up a crossroad for me. That's not fair. There's plenty of people for everyone if you do things right, isn't there?
Yeah. That's usually the case, isn't it? You know, a new gym, it's like, always saying like bad things, and they're literally in the same building, you know, coexisting, like successful. Yeah, it was cool.
I think it's a weak mentality to me that, you know, if you're threatened by what someone else is doing, then you're never going to succeed at anything really, because, you know, you should be that confident in what you're doing that, you know, come along, you know, stick it out. If you're better than me, great. Maybe I'll learn from you. But like, you can't feel threatened unless some element of you isn't happy with what you're doing. I think that's where that comes from. Like, I've been at, you know, like even with the pop-up when I'm at events, I've helped other vendors, like, you know, get stuff from the cars and like walk in and out with them when they're clothing vendors. And then I've been to some events where other clothing vendors won't even look at you. And I think, what are you doing? Like, if they want my shit, they'll buy my shit. If they want your own, they'll buy your own.
Exactly. It's the same in the media field as well. You know, there's so many like creatives out there. But yeah, it's nice. Like when you go to a competition, obviously you're all coming together and you're working, and it's not like, you sort of bounce off each other, like we were saying before we came on. You know, like you learn things off other creators and like you help each other out, and it's like healthy competition. You know what I mean? It makes you want to do better, you know, and you bounce off each other. It's nice.
Well, that's it. Like if you touched on it there, like if you are that closed off from what's happening around you, not only do people dislike you because you look like a twat, but you also lose that opportunity to learn. You know, if you went to an event and you were like that, like with your camera and not looking at what everyone else were doing and not engaging with them, you know what I mean? You wouldn't pick anything up, would you? So
it's even like just like stupid little things, you know, that make your life so much easier, but you've never thought of it. And it's like, oh, what are you doing there? And it's like, oh, just do this, isn't it? It's like, fucking hell, no way. And they're like, oh yeah, I'll show you how to do it, and then that's it. You know, it's changed your whole workflow.
Yeah, that is, because when you're so close to something, you just do it how you've learned, don't you? You know, it's something, the easiest thing can just change your life, like you said.
Yeah, it's so true.
Right, mate. So we've done Method, we've done Project, we've done CrossFit SPT, and then we went to Gainsborough, CrossFit Gainsborough. What
was it? Comet?
Oh, was it Comet? Oh, it was. Sorry, mate. Yeah, it was. I was just trying to keep Lizzie on for longer,
We can do
so she didn't drop off. So yeah, it was Comet next. So what was your highlight at Comet?
Well, the first thing that came into my head was it's definitely a competitive box. Like the amount of banners, like cards, whatever you call them, team names that were on the wall, like was unreal. Like I put it in the video. So yeah, that stood out to me. Again, like how welcoming they were, and the building was like really unique as well. It was like a really old sort of factory building. And I think what they did with the space was like really cool, like having the orange and blues and stuff. Like it was just really different. Yeah. What about you?
My highlight there, mate, was all those things you just said. Definitely, I love the attention to detail. I love like even the ratchet straps that they used to put the boxes together for the high burpee box jumps. Even they were on brand with the orange. But my highlight was the conversation with Dan when he talked about he wanted to do this so much that he risked everything. You know what I mean? He moved back in. I think he said he moved back in with his mum and dad or his parents, and just he believed in what he wanted to do so much that he was willing to, you know, put himself on the line for it. And I just loved that. It was a message like that resonated with me at the time because of decisions that I need to make in order to take this business to the next level. And, you know, when you're trying to make those decisions and you're thinking about it, you can't help but think about it in isolation. And then, you know, when you're having a chat with someone that's done something similar in an area that you like are passionate about, it gives you that sort of reassurance almost. Like it's like almost like an external validation of, yeah, this is what I need to fucking do. And this is the result that you can get from it if you do it like this. And yeah, so that was really inspiring to me talking to Dan. And yeah, I seen him again last weekend, went down to the gym because they had a little in-house comp on, and it was just good to see him all and to see everyone, and yeah, cracking community again. But yeah, that conversation with him was he was a top boy you were.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. As soon as you said about the conversation, I knew exactly what you was going to say. Yeah, that stuck in my head. I was like, yeah, do you know, if you really want something, you know, you can make it happen.
Yeah, and that's it, innit? It is that mentality of I will make this work, and that's it's rare. Not many people have that, and yeah, it was great to hear it from him.
Yeah, 100%.
Go on, low light.
I just put food poisoning. So yeah, getting food poisoning the night before and about an hour or two sleep. That wasn't a great start to the day.
Yeah, you weren't good with you, mate.
No, I was really
soldiered on though. Soldiered on. My low light was falling off the rower.
Oh yeah, Oh, class.
Yeah, you saved me by not including that in the content. I thought that might have made its way in, but I'm sure if we've got an end of year review, mate, maybe chuck it in that when we do a bit of end of year montage.
100%.
Yeah. So now
I thought you got away with it, and then you just turned to the left, and I was like, gotcha.
Yeah, but I wanted that in more than I wanted other stuff in. I'm all right with looking a twat. I do it to myself on a regular basis anyway. But
yeah, that's funny.
It's because I was going so fast, mate. Like it just couldn't keep up with me. Yeah,
that sure was it. I saw like a 4 and like 3 4 zeros.
Yeah, we're about 4,000 calories an hour easy, mate. I wouldn't even. And imagine how quick I'd have been if I'd not fell off.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
there
we go. Right. So from there, then this time we definitely went to CrossFit Gainsborough, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
So I want to say my highlight at CrossFit Gainsborough was ordering that ice cream at the ice cream van, and when it came, it was about 3 times the size that I thought it was going to be. So yeah. But that was a highlight because obviously everybody loves ice cream. But one of the highlights for me, and I don't want to make it too individual, but Martin, who was there, he's a massive supporter of the Defiant. He always has been. He's bought loads of stuff. And it was when he had that lift, and I was like, oh, fuck me, with that PB, that looked very good. And he was like, no, equal. And I was like, right, we're getting camera ready. You're going to PB. And he PB'd that complex, which was a squat. Well, it was a clean, a front squat, and a jerk, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
And he PB'd that with his Defiant head to toe outfit on, and you got that on camera. So that was just good because I know it sounds silly, but like just for him as well, he's a massive supporter of us, and he got a good moment captured as well. And it was that was a highlight for me, other than the ice cream.
Yeah, the pressure was on, and he pulled through.
Yeah,
he smashed it. I think there could have a couple of more kilos there as well. Yeah, he looked really good.
Yeah,
and again, I agree with that. Ice cream was at the top of my list. Really big. That was class. What else? Like just the enthusiasm and like the community getting behind it was really nice, and like the passion. You could really tell like he was just putting his heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
Very similar to Comet. He's just put everything into it, and he's just so proud of what he's got and where it's going. I think in the near future, we're going to see like big things out of Gainsborough.
Yeah, and I think like another thing to call out for Gainsborough as well was like how well they utilised the space they had. It weren't a massive box, but way they had the shutters up and they had that bit of turf that they could pull out and utilise the outside space, and that I think it was really, really smart. I know they're in the process of moving to a bigger spot, but I think they really did get the best out of that space as well.
Yeah, 100%. And that was the only low point that I could sort of pick up on was the square foot space.
Yeah. I think, but then how they used it was, if you flip it. But my low light for that was the fact that they're de-affiliating, because like we want to see people proudly flying the CrossFit flag. Well, I do anyway. And it's a shame that they're in a situation where their affiliation, and I get this, their affiliation isn't as worth as much to them as the additional space they can rent with the utilization of those funds. So they're moving to a bigger space, and his plan is to re-affiliate when he can. But I think that maybe leads into what we were talking about, like there's no value in it for him. The value's in having a bigger gym as opposed to calling himself a CrossFit gym. So where's the disconnect there? That's a problem. And one of the things he said was as well, the only time in 4 years of being an affiliate CrossFit UK have reached out to him is when he said he was de-affiliating. And that's just not a good message, is it?
Isn't it really?
Yeah, so that plays into what we talked about.
Yeah.
Right, and then last but by no means least, Fosse Way CrossFit, just a week after their 10-year affiliation anniversary, which is just fucking insane, isn't it? Like,
it's unreal. Finished on a high.
So that was more luck than judgment. I'm not going to say we planned that. So what were your highlight of Fosse Way, mate?
That was the first thing that struck to me was the 10-year affiliation, which was class. The fact that he sort of took pride on keeping his memberships low. He said the amount of years they've been there, they've only increased the membership like a couple of quid here and there. And
that's big from a Scotsman, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. And then having the games athlete, a member at the gym, I thought that was pretty cool. Good to have a conversation with her. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and my highlight again, it was I enjoyed that because she was just about to set off on a journey to the CrossFit Games in the Masters category. But mine was like, I know Miles, but talking to him, I really enjoyed that conversation and seeing his passion for it. He's level 3. He keeps trying to get on seminar stuff. He is like, I don't know. He is someone that CrossFit UK should be like sort of bringing in whatever capacity that looks like. 'Cause he weren't asking for anything. He just wanted to feel like you were part of it. And I think, 10-year affiliate, level 3. Like what more can someone give? Like he loves it. He gets it through and through. He's got a competition in the space with Midlands Fitness Games. He gives so much to the CrossFit community, and he just fucking loves it. Like, you know what I mean? And it was just, he's passionate, and I think that he's someone that should be embraced by CrossFit UK. And if they do look to maybe try and do something at a more local level, have reps in each area maybe that can spread the message. He'd be an absolute he'd be like a great resource for him to use, definitely.
100%. And I think if they did do that, there'd be so many people, you know, on the waiting list. You know, that Miles is like a great example, and there's so many more people like that.
Yeah.
And I think that would be like a great route to go down, you know, having someone in every different region who you can get in contact with and pass messages on. I think that would be like the best thing to do going forward.
Definitely, mate. 100%.
Yeah.
And then lowlights, mate. What you got?
Again, not really any lowlights, but having to watch you struggle with them shoulder presses on the old left arm.
Mine, mate.
That was it. Is it?
That's what I've got. So I've got the dumbbell shoulder press and the dumbbell thrusters. Yeah, they were bad. I'm like so weak overhead, like. And what was it? It was wall walks, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was wall walks.
And I subbed the wall walks for shoulder press, but I think I did get filled in a bit. I think I was doing quite a few more than what was necessary, like, and I'm not good overhead. And I can't go upside down because of a medical condition. I've got an exploding brain. So yeah, I always have to scale that, but yeah, that filled me in. And then the dumbbell thrusters, single. I was like right side because it was single arm. It was all right. Then when I went to do them on left, I couldn't bring it down. I was like, yeah. But I love that though. I like, you know, like I went around and we can talk about the workouts overall now, I guess, across all of them. And I just love that. It's like, it feels like such a safe space doing CrossFit. So, and what I mean by that is, you know, some people are self-conscious about going into a gym. They worry that they're not going to be able to do anything. They're worried that they're going to look silly if they can't lift a weight, or they're going to do this and that. And I'm telling you now, you walk into a CrossFit gym and everybody will celebrate everything that you're doing, no matter how much you scale the workout, how strong you are, how weak you are. Nobody gives a shit. Everybody just wants you to get better, wants you to do well. And I scale so many workouts, even after doing CrossFit 4 or 5 years. And wherever I go, I feel comfortable just dropping the weights. And I've done it at each one of these workouts we've done on this affiliate series. I've had to scale something. I don't care. It's on camera for everyone to see. Like, that's part of it. You're included by its very nature and the fact that it's scalable for everyone. Everybody there wants you to succeed. So if nothing else,
that's an island.
Yeah,
like the biggest thing, isn't it? No one cares.
That's it, mate. And
fitting and working hard, like that's the main thing.
It is, and that's definitely something that was, I don't know, a theme throughout them all. And like you said at the start, like everything felt familiar. Every single one, you felt like you'd been there before because of the people.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's like you're walking into a room full of like 30, 40 people that you've never met before, but you feel so at ease, and you know, everyone's just so approachable, and you've all got things in common, but you come from totally different backgrounds. Like,
yeah,
I just think it's ace. Yeah, like in our gym, you know, I'm like best mates with like guys that I'd never meet unless we was there. You know, you've got like accountants and lawyers and all this sort of thing, and you're like having a crack and banter with them, and it's great. And vice versa, like younger people, you know. Yeah, it's just like such a good community vibe, isn't it? Wherever whatever box you go into, it's like exactly the same feel.
And you get that abroad as well, don't you? Like, you'll have been dropped in at gyms wherever you are, and it's the same. It's like, I was talking to Ad Walker, I had him on, and he'd been in gyms in, I think it was Cambodia and Vietnam. No, Malaysia and Vietnam, sorry. He said it's the same. Like, you're just welcome. They're like, want to hear about your story, want to hear about like what gyms you've been to and all that stuff. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? If I walked into a JD gyms in Bristol, probably going to get stabbed. You know what I mean? But in a CrossFit gym, everyone's welcome, and everyone. I'm not saying they're not in JD. I use a JD gym in Chesterfield, but it's just that sort of everyone's in there and they're getting fit, they're getting stronger, they're doing their own programs, but it's just so like
headphones in, tunnel vision.
Yeah, and you know what, that works for some people, but I think the wider population, CrossFit is so inclusive and so community driven. It's just, that's what makes you keep going back, especially in them times when, you know, when it is a bit shit and, you know, life gets hard or you go through something tough. Knowing that you can walk into that gym and be surrounded by people that either going to help you through whatever you're going through or help you forget it for an hour.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that. And
it's like I've been on like an individual program for a while, shout out Off the Grid. But some days you just want to, like, I'll go to a class at my gym like at least 3 times a week, just because it's like that social environment, you know, and like you train on your own in the middle of the day, you're in your head, you know, that's like the discipline and digging deep. But then you go to a class and then you can compete with people and you're having a laugh and a catch up, you know, it's like a completely different sort of world, isn't it? And you just forget about everything. Like, it doesn't matter how shit your day's been, like stressed, whatever. It's like, all right, 5 o'clock, I'm going to go there for an hour and just switch off. Like you say, every time you walk out, it's like you just feel mint, don't you?
Yeah, it is. And I made that mistake yesterday. I had a bit of a shit day yesterday. I had some like stuff going on, like, and a like long day. And rather than when I got to end, I was like, I should go to the gym. But I went for a walk instead, because whenever I go for a walk, it normally clears my head pretty well. But I like, and it did to a point, but I didn't get that same endorphin hit. I didn't get that, you know, someone taking piss out of me because I couldn't lift a fucking weight, or, you know what I mean? That stuff that, and I like those moments. It reminds me of like what you've just said there about how good it is for you. And
mate.
So if we get sign off for season 2 from the boss, call her the boss just because she's the voice of reason, I think is probably more accurate. I just want to do stuff all the time, regardless of what that looks like for us from a. But one of the things I'm going to look at doing next year is I'm going to try and get a sponsor for it. Maybe even a couple if we can make it work. And if they're going to be from within the space, great, because like, you know, like then we could maybe take something of theirs, you know, like just if you got an equipment sponsor and they just contribute a little bit towards the costs of the filming and everything each month, but then they get to, like, you know, we make sure some of their kit's in shot and then they get access to a reel or something like that off the back of it. And maybe look at that, because as much as we love doing this, like obviously the market at the moment is pretty tough, and it's a big outlay for us to do it, and we want to keep telling the story, but we need to just try and maybe spread that cost a bit. So we're going to look at finding a way to do that. But in terms of the structure and layout, what do you think? Lift and shift?
Yeah, I love it. I think there's so many more gyms that we haven't discovered yet. You know, we've only scraped the surface. And yeah, I totally agree, like with the sponsor idea, you know, because you're pretty much doing this out your own pocket, aren't you? You know, it's not like you made a point of it. It's not promoting Defiant. We're not like pushing Defiant clothing and the brand into people's faces. It wasn't about that. It was about, like, you know, the gym owners and the community. So yeah, it'd be nice to have some like support on that, you know, and it's only going to grow and get bigger and bigger.
Definitely. And then from finding the gym's point of view, that's where we're going to need the help of the community, I think, because it's easy to get sucked into the big ones, and it's good to do that, but like we want to go around and, you know, find those ones, those little like diamonds in the rough, like SPT, like Comet, you know, that maybe outside of their, well, Comet I know are well known because they're at every fucking comp in the numbers, so they'll get a reputation for that. But like we say, SPT, I'm quite deep in the scene as you, and I'd never heard of that gym until they reached out. So they're the ones I want to hit up. I think next year we'll definitely get 17 on, because what Yates is doing there is incredible. He was a victim of being my close mate, I think, this time, because like it was like, well, I can't just tell everyone's story that's mate. We had Project on list just because it was my birthday weekend, and I wanted to, you know, pay them back for everything they've given me. But yeah, we need to find some of those. So maybe we'll have a kickoff at 17, and we need to hit Forge Functional Fitness as well, just because that's an insane space, and again, so supportive of what we're doing. But then that leaves us 4 or 5 spots open in the middle to go and find some little gems. So if anyone's watching this and knows any, let us know. But yeah, I think if we try and get going again, maybe a similar time to next year, to this year, because we started it in March, didn't we? Yeah, we started in March. Gives us time to get planning, get a list together, and then see what we can do, mate. But I've appreciated it with you as well. Like, now it's not just like a sort of, not saying it because you're here, because, you know, I like to speak pretty openly anyway. But like just being able to work with someone like you that gets it, gets a scene, gets a space, and I can say to you, because I'm a control freak in a way, but then when I know someone's brilliant at something, I am very good at letting them go and do the thing. Yeah, and just having worked with you for a bit, just having you as a soundboard, like, this is my idea, what do you think? And you're like, well, this. I'm like, right, go. And it's that like really, so, and I find that with everything when I work with you. I normally just say, right, come here this day and do what you want, and it comes out.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. And then I think it's just, like you say, it's that trust and respect for each other. And, you come to me with ideas, and some things like slap and other things, it's like, right, we just need to adjust this, to suit. And it just rolls off easily, doesn't it? I think, I've loved it. And I'm really excited for the next series. It's going to be class.
Watch this space then, mate. We'll get it planned.
Oh, and massively appreciate how good you are at talking on camera, because it makes my life so much easier. It's like one take every time, which is heaven.
Can we I think we need to just do that again, mate. Like, I need people to hear this. So I have just been appreciated for being able to chat shit at a professional level. Can we just take note of that, please?
Yeah, you've got that on record. You can screen grab that.
I am. That's definitely going to be a clip that I'm taking straight out of this. But I don't know. Like, it is, because it is. When I overthink things, we've joked about it before, haven't we? If I've got my camera set up in front of me here, and I'm talking to it for like just a simple story that I'm putting on Instagram, I've done 50 fucking takes because you chase perfection. I feel like when you've got a camera in your face that someone else is holding, there's something in that sort of, it's almost like the jeopardy of it makes you just react and makes you just, I don't know. Well, I guess you either sink or swim, I guess. But when I do these, I never feel like I stumble over my words. No. But when I'm doing it just me and a camera, I chase perfection, and perfection just doesn't exist, like we know. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I think it's a skill that not many people have, because a lot of people, like you say, in front of a phone camera, a lot of people are like that 10 times worse with a professional camera, looking down that lens. Can be a bit daunting sometimes.
I think it's hard, isn't it? Because I feel like, in today's world, you've almost got to be a marketer more so than you've ever been for your business. And not only a marketer, because I feel all good business people, they teach you that at the Entrepreneur Circle where you came with us. They say that you are not a clothing brand owner, you're a clothing brand marketer. That is my job. And if I market it properly, people will buy it. Yeah. But I think that, now we're in this age of social media and everyone doing videos and everyone like on film and on camera. It does put pressure on people to maybe do that really don't want to fucking do it.
Yeah, no, I'm one of them. I'm literally like, you see some of these big time creators, they're shifting across, to like their personality and what they do. And it's like, oh, should I be doing that? I'm on the fence like daily. It's like, oh, today should I do a day in the life? And it's like, oh, what if?
Yeah,
it's just the way the world's going, isn't it?
I think you should though. I think people like it.
Yeah, I think it's just making that jump, isn't it?
But when people do that day in their life and they're like, this is me porridge, this is me drive to work, and you're like, oh my God, I know you're meant to be doing a day in life, but stop right now.
Being a videographer and a creator, you've got to put some like cinematic spin on it, haven't you?
Mate, you're under pressure for that. Like, just adjusting lighting before we got on so you looked right. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Just see all the people like, that light is terrible. I thought you were a videographer.
I've got two. Can you see it? Can you see that one there?
Yeah, I can see that little.
And then you should see and there. But I've got one either side of my monitor here now, mate, clipped on. I'm proper pro. Yeah.
Proper influencer.
Yeah, can't polish a turd though. That's my only problem. Right, mate. On that note, I reckon we're done. So cheers for jumping on. Just stay on a sec after I've ended it, mate, and we'll have a chat. But thanks everyone, and if anyone is watching this after the fact, make sure you subscribe.
Absolutely. Pleasure.
Cheers, mate.